Hello.
Yeah, Manjunatha, tell me. Actually, you send one message, right?
Yes, sir.
After the completion of your JDBC and servlets only, you will join this class. Okay. Otherwise, no use to you also. Parallelly, it's very difficult to understand.
Okay, okay. So now 9:30 is they will take the class.
Tomorrow onwards, mostly I will try to take 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. only. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Uh, so, okay. Hmm. In yesterday, we discussed about what we discussed yesterday. What we discussed yesterday. Anyone? I discussed about Spring Boot features. Okay, what is Spring Boot starters? What is Spring Boot auto configuration feature and Spring Boot externalized configuration feature and some other things. Okay, so yesterday we discussed about this concept. In today class, it is very important class. Okay, why? Because today onwards we will start practical sections, Spring Boot practical sections. Okay, so after this class, if after this class only I will share all the documents means all the notes. And till now we did two projects. One is by using dependency injection and another one is without using dependency injection, right? So today onwards it's very useful, so try to understand carefully. Okay. Okay, how to create projects, how to create projects, how to create Spring Boot projects. Anyone?
Using an IDE or using Spring Initializer.
Yeah, so which website we will use to create project? By using
Spring initializer.
Spring Initializer is correct. Okay, so see again I will discuss how to create projects, how to create Spring Boot project. Okay, see in this website. Oh, this is the website start.spring.io. Okay, this is the website start.spring.io. In this website, we will create Spring Boot project. We will create Spring Boot project. So we will select first project type, whether it is a Maven project or Kotlin project or Groovy project. Mostly we will use Maven project. Okay. Second one is select language. Which language? Java. Third one is select what is the difference between the snapshot version and normal versions. What is the difference between snapshot version and normal versions?
Snapshot version is not stable.
Correct. Snapshot version is not stable and normal version is Normal version is the M1 is the maintenance. Now this is the without any mentions. This is the stable versions. Okay. Group ID com dot example dot spring boot app demo for spring boot basics. For spring boot basics. Okay. So this project name is not, see, artifact ID is nothing but the project name. Artifact ID is the project name. Group ID is the package name. Okay. Next, packaging. Here we have two options. One is jar application and another one is var application. Select any one Java version. Select any one Java version. So now next step is select required dependencies. Select required dependencies, web dependency. Okay, based on your application, we should select your required dependencies. Okay, if you select web dependency, Spring Web dependency, then read this description. Building web application, including RESTful applications using Spring MVC. Okay, we have in Spring, we have different modules are there. Okay, when you add this Spring Web dependency, it internally include Tomcat server. Okay, and it internally include Tomcat server. By using this Spring Web application, Spring Web dependency, we can able to build web application, RESTful application. Okay, Spring Boot modules. See, I will tell the all these Spring Boot modules. See, this is the official documentation of Spring. Okay. See, these are the Spring Boot modules: Spring Boot, Spring Framework, Spring Cloud Data Flow, Spring Data, Spring Integration, Spring Batch, Spring Security, Spring AI, recently added. Okay, Spring AI. These all are the Spring Boot modules. Each module has separate features. Each module have separate feature and separate functionality. Okay, so this is about Spring. Next, Spring initializer. We are including just one dependency. Click on the explore button. Okay, this is the pom.xml. This is the pom.xml. In this XML, this is the parent. Okay, parent, and this is the project description. This is the project name. See, demo for Spring Boot Basics is the project name. This is the default version. 0.0.1 is the default version. Artifact ID is the project name and group ID is the package name. See, both artifact ID and project name both are same. Just click on download. Just click on download. Okay. After creating the project, it downloaded one zip file. Go to the zip file and unzip the folder. Right click on that. Extract all files. Extract all files. So this unzip folder, right click on this unzip folder. Next, show more options. Okay, open folder as IntelliJ ID, trust project. Like this, we will use the another project. Click on Maven load. So this is the project structure. Someone explain the project structure. Someone explain the please explain project structure. అలాగే ఉండదు నీకు. Hello. Okay. So project structure. This is the project structure. So I already explained the project structure. Go to the project. Okay. Once go to that recording video. Next. Now this is the main method. Inside this method we have run method. Okay. Now I will tell how to return Java bean as a JSON. How to return single Java bean as a JSON type. Okay. Single Java bean as a JSON type. Before that we need to know about the HTTP methods. Before that we need to know about the HTTP methods. Any idea about HTTP methods?
It's get, post, put, delete, update.
Correct. These all are the HTTP methods. See, in tomorrow class, I will explain what is the difference between client and server and previous. In today class, I will give you a small example. In tomorrow class, I will tell what is the difference between client and server and another thing is what is previous versions of RESTful web services, not previous versions. Now we are using RESTful services, right? Before RESTful web services, we are used JAX-RS. Okay. In tomorrow class, I will tell all those things. Okay. In tomorrow class, I will tell all those things. See, HTTP methods. HTTP methods, we have the main methods are post method, post mapping. Okay, so here the main HTTP methods are HTTP means hypertext transfer protocol. Okay, hypertext transfer protocol. Okay, this is used to see, for example, this is the client, this is the client, and this is the server. To communicate between client and server, we will use HTTP protocols. Okay, to communicate between client and server, we will use HTTP protocol. Okay, HTTP means hypertext transfer protocol. To communicate between client and server, we will use HTTP protocols. Okay, so coming to the HTTP methods, we have multiple HTTP methods are there. Okay, one is post mapping, second one is put mapping or get map, third one is get mapping, fourth one is delete mapping, fifth one is patch mapping. So these are the mostly they will use first four methods only. Okay. Sometimes the patch mapping usage is very less. Okay. First one is post mapping. If you want to create a new resource, okay. If you want to create a new resource, then we will use post mapping. ఓకే, మనం ఏంటంటే ఒక డాటా ఉంటుంది, ఒక టేబుల్లో ఒక 100 రికార్డ్స్ ఉన్నాయి. 100 రికార్డ్స్లో ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ టు క్రియేట్ ఏ ఎనీ న్యూ రిసోర్స్, ఓకే, ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ టు అంటే 100 రికార్డ్ కాకుండా 101 రికార్డ్ క్రియేట్ చేయాలనుకోండి, ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ టు క్రియేట్ ఏ 101 రికార్డ్, దెన్ వీ విల్ యూజ్ పోస్ట్ మ్యాపింగ్. పుట్ మ్యాపింగ్ మీన్స్ ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ టు అప్డేట్ అండ్ ఎనీ రిసోర్స్, ఇఫ్ ఎనీ రిసోర్స్, ఓకే, ఈ 100 రికార్డ్స్లో మీరు 88th రికార్డు ఫస్ట్ ఆ ఐడి, ఆ ఫీల్డ్స్ ఉంటాయి కదా, ఐడి, నేమ్, శాలరీ, ఫోన్ నెంబర్ అని, ఆ ఐడి ఎంటైర్ రికార్డ్ చేంజ్ చేయాలంటే we will use put mapping. Okay, if you want to update a resource, then we will use put mapping. Get mapping means if you want to retrieve any record or any resource, okay, if you want to get a resource, then we will use get mapping. Delete mapping means if you want to delete any record, then we will use delete mapping. Okay, patch mapping ante if you want to partially update a data. Okay, here for example 5 fields are there: id, name, id, username, password, email, phone number. These are the 5 fields. If you want to update an email and phone number, okay, you are not updating entire record, you are updating only 2 fields. At that time we will use patch mapping. If you want to update partial data, then we will use patch mapping. Okay, are you able to understand, right? Okay, this is the patch mapping. Now I will tell how to retrieve a single bean as a JSON. Okay, JSON ante JavaScript object notation. JSON means JavaScript object notation. JavaScript object notation. Okay, so JSON data ante it is the data like key value pairs. Okay, one, it is the key value is Surya. Next semicolon. Next 2 is value is Java. Like that we have key value pairs. Okay, just JSON data is nothing but it is the stored data in key value, not store. This data is like a key value pairs. Okay, see JSON data format. See here, name is the key, Python is the value. It is in JSON format. It is the data is in JSON format is nothing but it is a key value pairs. Here name is the key, value is the Python, choice is the key, one is the Python, name is the key, JavaScript is the Python. So these are the JSON script. It is like a JSON format. It is a JSON format. Okay. Now I will tell how to retrieve data as a JSON. Okay. How to retrieve Java as a JSON. Create one class called hello world. In that we have public string. There is a method called hello. Return Spring Boot. Spring Boot is working. Spring Boot is working. This is the one class. This is one class. New class controller. Inside this class, what we will do? We need to create a method. Inside this class, we need to create a method. Public hello world. Hello world is the return type. Okay. Hello world is the return type. Okay. Why here we are returning hello world? ఓకే రిటర్న్ టైప్ అంటే స్ట్రింగ్ యూజ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు లేదంటే వైడ్ కానీ ఇంటీజర్ కానీ ఏదైనా యూజ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు ఇక్కడ వై వీఆర్ రిటర్న్ క్లాస్ నేమ్ యాజ్ రిటర్న్ టైప్ మీన్స్ హియర్ వీఆర్ రైటింగ్ దిస్ inside this class we have this return type. Okay, this class is returning the string. Okay, this hello world class is returning this string. In the same way, in this controller, create data. That's it. Create data. Return. ఇప్పుడు మనం ఏం రాయాలి చెప్పండి.
వెళ్ళాలి మండే ఇంక మనకి సాటర్డే అయితే
Here I created in this controller class, I created one method. Okay, in this controller class, create data. Hello world. Here or directly we will change the name. New. Here there is an option called refactor. Okay, refactor is nothing but a see if you rename the any see here I did one mistake. Here I gave class name is controller hello world. Okay, I need to give class name is hello world controller or normal controller. I want to change this name in our entire application. Okay, ఈ hello world name ni ఎక్కడైతే ఈ ప్రాజెక్ట్లో ఎక్కడెక్కడ వచ్చిందో అంతా మార్చాలనుకున్నా. I want to change this class name in entire application. Then right click, refactor, rename. Controller. Delete చేసండి. It's already there. No. Refactor, rename, controller. Okay, in this class we need to annotate it with @rest controller, @controller. Why we will use @controller annotation? Why we will use @controller annotation? Why we will use @controller annotation? Hello.
In controller layer,
Hmm.
we use controller annotation.
In controller layer we will use controller annotation. But why we will use controller layer? Deb, what are stereotype annotations? What are stereotype annotations? Anyone? What are stereotype annotations? చెప్పండి. What are stereotype annotations? Anyone? What is the use of @Java bean? What is use of Java bean? What is configuration? What is configuration? where we declare beans in Spring Boot?
In configuration class, we declare beans.
What is the use of @component? What is the use of @component?
It informs the Spring IOC container that it needs to create and manage the lifecycle of bean of that class.
Hmm. Here I will create one class, that is hello world class. No, hello world. Okay. In this hello world class, I will create one method, that is public string public how see public create one message, private string message. Okay, in that message create one constructor, public. How to create constructor? Constructor and dinki. What is the features of constructor? That means what is constructor and how we can create constructor? Constructor which is used to initialize the object. Okay, constructor which is used to initialize the object, and the class name and constructor name must be same. String, here we are passing that message. Inside the constructor we assign this value into this field. Okay, we are assigning this value into this field. This dot message equal to message. Okay, now we are assign this parameter into this field. Okay, next we are creating getters and setters. Generate getter and setters. It will generate getter and setters. Next, inside the controller layer we will create controller layer is used to process that request. Okay, controller layer is used to process the request. Public, here what is the return type here? Tell me. In this hello world we are returning the hello world, the return type is string. Okay, then controller layer process this hello world class. Okay, now hello world lo ఏ డాటా ఉంది, string data ఉంది. Okay, hello world string రాస్తుంది. Next this control class will return this hello world class. Okay, ఎందుకంటే ఈ కంట్రోల్ క్లాస్ అనేది ఈ హలో వరల్డ్ క్లాస్ కి కంట్రోల్ క్లాస్ అనేది ఈ హలో వరల్డ్ క్లాస్ లో ఉన్నది రాస్తుంది. Okay, this control class will return hello world class. Next, public hello world any method, create any method. This is hello. Next, return new hello world. We need to pass this parameter. We need to pass any string. Hello Spring Boot, hello Surya, hello Java. Like that, we will pass any parameters. Okay, but I want to print this parameter in not in console. I want to print this parameter in Chrome. Then we will use get mapping. Get mapping is used to retrieve the data. Okay, get mapping is used to retrieve the data. So పక్క క్లాస్ వాళ్ళకి ఇంటర్వ్యూ జరుగుతుంది. సో ఐ విల్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ కొంచెం లో వాల్యూమ్లో ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తాను. ఆలోచన నెక్స్ట్ స్లాష్ give this is the URI uniform resource identifier. Hello. We will give anything hello data. Okay, next we will annotated with @REST controller. Okay, instead of controller we will annotated with @REST controller. Okay, REST controller is the combination of @controller and @response body. Is the combination of @controller and @response body. I will explain what is the purpose of control and what is the purpose of response body. Next, this is the control layer. Next, for this we need to pass one URL HTTP localhost. Localhost means our local machine is the localhost. We need to check the whether the string is whether the application is working or not. We are checking the application in our local machine, right? That's why it is the localhost. 8080 is the by default port number. Tomcat server port number. By default, this application runs in Tomcat. Okay, so here the port number is 8080. Next, we will pass this URL. So this is the URL from the application. See, here Tomcat initialized with port 8080. The default port number is 8080. Starting service Tomcat. Tomcat started on port 8080. We didn't give any port number in your application. By default, it will take Tomcat server and it runs on this port number. Okay, application runs on 3.276 seconds. Open any Chrome browser, click on this URL, run that application. See, hello Surya, hello Java. The application is working file. Okay, this is the JSON data. In tomorrow class, now we will retrieve single base JSON. Okay, మనం ఇక్కడ ఓన్లీ సింగిల్ డాటాని సింగిల్ రికార్డ్ని రిట్రీవ్ చేసాం. In tomorrow class, I will tell how to retrieve multiple JSON requests. Okay, how to request multiple JSON beans. Okay, any doubts? అసలు అర్థమైందా? హలో, any doubts? Hello. Here I didn't do anything, just I create one simple class. In that class I declare one field called string message. Okay, next I create one constructor for that class I create constructors, setters and getters. Okay, I pass the string values. Okay, I need to return string values. So in the controller layer I call that controller layer, I create one method. By using that method I will call this string. I will pass this string. Okay, this string will, by using this URL, okay, by using this URL I am retrieving this string value in this browser. That's it. Okay, okay, ఏమైనా డౌట్ ఉంటే అడగండి, లేదంటే లేదు.
Understood.